The C-sharp major and minor preludes and fugues of Part 2 of Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier are remarkable compositions, in several respects quite unlike anything we've encountered to date. The C-sharp major prelude begins in a way that will no doubt remind you of the much more familiar opening C major prelude of Book 1. But here the harmony is much more daring and at times even exotic, and to a steadily treading bass line that underpins a ceaseless call and response in semiquavers between the right hand's two designated voices, Bach has here added a throbbing tenor line in eighth notes to wonderful propulsive effect. The music's harmonic twists and turns finally landed in G-sharp minor, and all is suddenly swept aside for a closing fugetta, a little fugue of sparkling quality, over almost before it's begun. The companion fugue, the real one, is a comedy whose droll subject is worked out into a brilliant little satire. The subject's continuation is freely varied on each of its returns, one of them including a little demi-semiquaver melodic fillip, slipping in almost unnoticed but steadily growing to a mighty population that completely takes over just before the end. Both of these C-sharp major compositions are gems, highly sophisticated and witty as hell. Once the mode shifts, everything changes, except for the sophistication. It would probably be appropriate for me to say a few words at this point about the relationship we've seen so far between companion works, each a paired prelude and fugue. In some cases, the prelude has been just that, clearly prefatory. That's certainly the case with Book 1, Number 1, for instance. In such cases, we're probably correct in saying that the center of gravity lies in the fugue, and there are several pairings in Book 1 that could be said to meet that description. In other cases, however, the priority is not so clear. The partnership is more nearly equal. In the case of these C-sharp minor movements, however, I believe the case could be made that the center of gravity has shifted to the prelude, with the fugue serving as something of an appendix, perhaps a response. That's not to say that the fugue is by any means a slight thing. It's rather that the prelude is so imposing. It's surely one of the most beautiful movements in all of the Well-Tempered Clavier, a trio for three characters who weave this musical tapestry cooperatively, like three participants in an instrumental trio, two trebles and a bass, chamber music in other words. The three voices exchange lavishly ornamented lines underpinned with a gentle, lilting Siciliana rhythm. The melancholy affect is artfully understated throughout. The aesthetic of the dance may also be found in the fugue, a furiously driven tarantella-inspired jig woven of triple counterpoint that treats the subject in constantly shifting perspectives, and all done before we know it. I wouldn't exactly call the ending abrupt, but it certainly is short. Tatiana Nikolayeva treats us to these wonderful inspirations from the pen of the 18th century's greatest polyphonist.